This is Barbara Schwartz from Clear Intentions International. And today I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about delegation and I want to talk about feedback. So most of the time, those two things go hand in hand because oftentimes delegation does not work as well as we would like it to work. So let's talk about delegation first. For most people, most of my clients, when they think about delegation, and this is too often for first-time managers, but not only, it could be anybody that has to delegate, including family members or friends. They think delegation is all about, I have this project or this task that I need to complete and I'm passing it on to you, and then I'm expecting it to get done magically at some point. So that's really a setup for disaster and failure. And one of the things that I recommend is that you have a process for it. You think about, what is my process for delegation? And the process will need to include a start date, finishing date, check-in times, a description, what to do when I am stuck. Maybe I come to you right away. Maybe I tell you what I did, or maybe I have to go to my team first in order to check in with them. So that's very clear what my steps are. We wouldn't do surgery without a particular process of this is what I do first and this is what I do second, or kind of anything that has to do with repairing things or creating things. So delegation is just like that. I want to say, okay, this starts on the 1st of March and you have 5 days and it finishes at the 5th of March at 5 p.m. And this is the scope and this is what I'm looking for. And I'd like you to give me a progress report 50% into the project, or 75%, I would like to have another one. And if you get stuck, then please go to the team and tell them exactly what you did, what worked and what didn't work. So it's very specific. And I can support you in getting this completed in the best possible way. Now, the second part of delegation is that we often are required to deliver feedback. And feedback can be tricky because for most people, when we talk about feedback, this negativity is implied. I know feedback can be positive, but really when I say to somebody, can I give you some feedback? It's people know it's going to be something that's not so positive. So how do I deliver feedback? And especially constructive feedback? Again, I'm going to go back and say we want to have a setup. And the setup is that I had a conversation with my employee or my direct report, or the people in my family, in my life, about this particular conversation happening at some point. And it could be that I ask him, how would you like the feedback to be delivered? And what style works best for you? Maybe direct, maybe a little bit indirect, maybe in writing, maybe in a Zoom call or on the telephone. So I have asked people how they would like to receive feedback. And when that time comes, we can say, we had this conversation and now we're in the situation where we are going to deliver some feedback. And I can also ask them what they need. Some people need to be alone afterwards. Some people need to be with somebody. Some people need to have a little bit of a balance. And so I know what they need and they can remind me, and I am ready to support them and deliver that to them. I'm a big fan of not delivering the positive or the negative feedback, because usually once we hear the negative feedback, we tune out the positive. It's a little bit like but, using the word but. It's like, it was a wonderful day, but it rained. So I'm stuck with the rain. So as a manager or even as a parent, you might want to separate the two of them out. So it's positive first one day, and then maybe 2 days later, you have some constructive feedback. Now, how do I actually do it? So first of all, I want to ask if this is a good time, and I want to see if the person is in the right frame of mind to hear my feedback. And I also want to sort of gauge and see how much feedback can this person take. Maybe I have 5 points to say, but the person really can only hear 3. So I want to gauge myself, and I want to not load them up with negative feedback. I want to see what they need around bringing this to completion. So want to make sure that we have good rapport and that the relationship stays strong. So I would ask, is this a good time for me to give you some feedback? Let's say they say yes, and then I want to be neutral about it. Because when I'm neutral about the feedback, it's easier for the person to take it. Every time that the feedback is charged with emotionality, people will feel attacked, and the fight, flight, or freeze will really get engaged. And when that's engaged, people can't listen. So I really encourage you to work through the feedback, your own emotionality in the feedback, and so that you can be neutral when you deliver it. So that's basically it. Think about a process for delegation, write it down, talk to your direct reports or anybody that you deliver feedback to ahead of time about how it's going to go. And then make sure that the timing is right, the space is right, and that you are in a neutral, coming from a neutral point of view when you deliver the feedback. I'm here, I'm available. If you have any questions and comments about it, please feel free to contact me, and I hope you have a great day. Until the next time, take care.